Beginning of the year. Beginning of the year. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order on Wednesday, January 31st at 1:01 p.m. And then Ruben, can we start with roll call, please?
Yes, member Macias,
Present.
member Ramirez,
Present.
member Merritt,
Present.
member Magana, member Gross,
Present.
member McKillop, member Hernandez,
Present.
member Fernandez, member Jimenez,
Here.
member Garcia. So we do have a quorum.
All right, introduction of guests. Any guests in attendance like to introduce themselves? Seeing none and seeing no guest on Zoom, we'll move on to public comments on matters not on the agenda. All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda, the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting dated November 29th, 2023. And I trust everyone has had time to review those minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes of November 20th.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. All right, item 4, new business, election of chair and vice chair for 2024. Usually we do this every January, as you all know, and to make it easy, I would like to continue my position as chair. We looked at Jennifer, she'd like to continue her position as vice chair. We can have a vote, however it goes.
I would be okay with continuing my position as vice chair if the committee sees it fit.
Are we voting as a block or individually?
We would need a first and second.
Just a
Okay,
motion.
both, the vote. Well, I'd like to run for chair. I'm just kidding. I'd like to make the motion that we elect Steve Matthias and vice chair, I'm sorry,
Jennifer.
Jennifer for this new term.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
One of the easiest, since I've been on here that we've had. All right, item 5, membership, and I will do this as a whole. Recommending Aaron Hernandez to the MST Board of Directors, Mobility Advisory Committee membership as representative of the Transportation Agency for Monterey County. And recommending Raina Gross to the MST Board of Directors for MAC membership as the representative for Alliance on Aging. And that would need a motion and a second. You make the motion, Bobby?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Flying through it today, everybody. And then next presentations, Veteran Transition Center updates. Bobby?
All right, very good. I think I have a slideshow. Should come up. If not, we have the slideshow in front of us here. The first thing to notice is that at this point, we've changed our name from Veterans Transition Center of Monterey County to the Veterans Transition Center of California. That's due to the fact that we are now bringing in vets from across the state, actually across the country. And so we thought that it would be best to change our charter reflect that. Next slide, please. This slide probably shouldn't be there, but it's just to reflect originally where we were and just covering the Monterey County area. And now that we're covering throughout the state, it actually doesn't even include the southern part of the state, but we bring in quite a few people actually from LA as well that are homeless. Next slide. So we were formed in '96. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. We have a 12-member board. We have a staff of just around 50 people now. I've been with the company 10 years and we've grown exponentially. We have a $6.8 million year budget, and we've received numerous awards from state legislature. Fellow congressman has also deemed us worthy of a few awards as well. Next slide, please. We are in partnership with several agencies. Federal agencies are Health and Human Services, Housing and Urban Development. Our property is deeded through HHS, and we also deal with the Veterans Administration. Capital funds come from state, county, and city block grants. And most of our projects are also funded through the state developers and other nonprofits. Next slide. Presently, we supply 4 different types of housing. We have an emergency shelter, which is a 10-bed, 2-structure building that we have that can house vets up to 60 days, but actually we can go to 180 days with extensions. Our transitional housing program is the larger of our program. It has 58 members in it, veterans in it. And there are 3 separate programs within it. They are a bridge, which is anyone that has opportunity to go directly into housing, either with a voucher from the housing authority, or there's income sustains them to the point where they're able to afford the housing on their own. Our service intensive plan, which is up to 2 years, and it's actually meant to reintegrate people back into society pretty much. Those are the guys that have been on the streets primarily. And our clinical housing plan, which is for people that have substance use or mental health issues, or a combination of both. Our permanent supportive housing is my department. We have 20 units they're bedrooms that we rent out to veterans, either with vouchers from the housing authority or through the fact that they can pay on their own, but their income's low, and so therefore we keep the cost of our units down to a bare minimum. And then we have LTOR, which is a long-term offenders rapid rehousing program. And those are veterans that have been in the penal system for anywhere from 20 to 30 years. Once they're paroled, they come into our program, they can stay up to about a year. And we try to get them either back into jobs, benefits, and housed, because our bottom line is to have every homeless vet housed. Next slide, please. So within the programs that I went through, as I said, we normally have anywhere from 110 to 120 people in our program at any given time. Throughout the year, we normally serve anywhere between 300 to, I'd say, 500 people, veterans per year. We are planning on expanding, which will be coming up, and hopefully we will actually be moving into Alameda County if we can, and also into Santa Clara County, possibly. Next slide. This is the layout of where we house our veterans. This one street down below. We're located on Emden. Our offices are on Emden. And one block behind us is Hayes Circle. And this is the layout that we have for the housing for those veterans. The yellow represents our emergency housing. The green buildings are the housing for our permanent supportive housing. The long-term offenders program are the red, and our regular GPD program is outlined in blue. Next slide. So in order to have everyone prepared for housing, we offer a variety of groups. Basically, our food pantry is very popular. We partner with Food Bank here. We also have some partnerships with Meals on Wheels to bring in meals for some of our guys. And so we case manage, we supply clothing. There are constant groups that they can attend, substance abuse, life skills, rehab. We try to, show them how to actually eat healthy and live a healthier life. But we have a social worker on the staff, well, two actually, and they pretty much have lead most of our groups. Next slide, please. So as of July of last year, we broke ground on this project on Hayes Circle. It will be directly across from the emergency housing. It's a 72 unit project. We're gonna bring in all low income vets. It will be geared out towards veterans and low income. And we're hoping to have it open by January of 2025, and with where construction's going now, it looks as if we will be there. Next slide, please. We have 71 units. It's exclusive to veterans and their families. We went into a partnership with another nonprofit up in Fremont, EAH Housing. They have done these projects in the past. They have several projects that are up and running already in Santa Clara and Alameda. And we're really happy to have this because we're trying to eliminate homelessness for veterans here in Monterey County. Next slide, please. The land, as I said, we've advocated from Health and Human Services through the McKinney-Vento Act, which is a homeless legislation, federal legislation. The capital funds were developed through VHHP, which is a California housing project. We used some tax credits. There were bonds that we issued as well. And we will be relying on voucher-based, the project-based vouchers from the county, from the housing authority. And so our operating revenue will come also through HUD and VA. Next slide. This is our newest project. It is the there was a VA clinic near the campus of CSUMB on Engineer Lane there. When the new clinic opened up on 9th, that clinic was closed. It's been down now for almost 9 years. And the VA has determined that they will allow us to be there for 99 years with the lease that they've given us. It's 6 acres, has some space for building housing, which is our intent. We will use the present building for a partnership that we're having with, well, if you go to the next slide, we're gonna go in with Meals on Wheels, and they're gonna build a kitchen within that building that helps to expand their services, and it will help to serve our veterans as well. And then the rest of the building, we're hoping to bring in partners or people that work in the same field as us. There's some other people, Nation's Finest. We're looking at, there's a dentistry for vets, and we're looking at trying to get that service as well because the dentist there is about to retire, and he'd like for us to try to take it over. So we're considering that. It would be a training center as well for the people in the kitchen and for the hospitality industry in the area. And so we're hoping that we might be able to do this within the next couple of years. Once again, we're running up against problems with water, and that is usually the problem with most projects around here. And so hopefully within the next 6-7 months, we will have that cleared up. And that concludes my presentation. Any questions?
I have one.
Yes.
For the Light Fighter Village project, well, first of all, congratulations on all your work in establishing new housing and for veterans and addressing the issue of homelessness, which we know is too widespread, right?
Yes, it is.
So for this particular unit, you said low income veterans and families scheduled to open in 2025. Do they have to be, do they have to go through the HUD process or?
Not necessarily, no,
separate-
but they will just submit applications. Well, presently, we have 15 in permanent supportive housing in our program now, so those 15 would migrate over. I think about 17 of the units, because of the funding that we received from the county, they're requesting that their behavioral health bring in, I think, 17 or so clients, and then the rest will be just, you know, vetted through the regular process, whether or not they have a voucher or not, you know, depending on their income.
Okay,
It will be income based.
they would just apply through your program.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. The reports and information items, David and transit and Misty rides of things.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Let's see what's slide. Okay, we're gonna start with our trips by purpose slide. These are trips that MV Transportation handles. Kind of gives you a breakdown as far as the types of clients and areas that we're transporting our passengers to. It stays the same, typically month over month, with a large group of passengers going to dialysis, medical trips of various natures, and personal and recreational trips. And then also education, training, and daycare. It's one of those slides that kind of speaks for itself, and it kind of gives you an idea where our clients are going. And if you go to the next slide. This next one here is you know, we utilize Yellow Cab Taxi as overflow for us when we are busy and we can't handle all the trips. So we'll send some of our trips to Yellow Cab Taxi to help us out. This kind of gives you a breakdown as well as far as what trips they're handling for us. The majority of theirs that we send to them are the personal and recreational trips. The smaller trips that we can't handle, typically we try to keep them under 8 miles of a distance that they handle. Just something that's going across town, maybe to, maybe the movies or dinner or a restaurant or breakfast or something like that. Like I said, like it shows recreational trips. And some dialysis that are, that do not need the use of a mobility device. If we go to the next slide. Okay, this slide here kind of breaks down our rides trips over the last 3 fiscal years. As you can see, this past month in December, there was a slight decrease in trips that we handled. A lot of it had to do with the holiday season, and one of our major adult daycares that we transport to was closed for pretty much most of the month. So that is the most of the reason for that decline. But as you can see in the previous months, there is a nice increase, a steady increase over the last 3 years, which shows you that, ridership is increasing, and, people are getting back out and enjoying themselves and utilizing our service. Passengers as well, that rides passengers, this number doesn't reflect the same as rides trips, because we have, family members that will accompany a client or a personal care physician or attendant, I should say, will, ride along with our clients as well. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Okay, this next one here is it's interesting to me, just because it's our rides per vehicle revenue hour. As you can see, over the last few months, it has decreased, and that doesn't mean that we aren't doing our job. It just means that we're fully staffed with plenty of drivers on roads, so which we are not needing to have as many clients on a bus as need be. So we're able to pick up, right now it's about 1.5 passengers per hour, as opposed to almost 2 passengers per hour that we had a few months ago. This way we can make sure that our clients are being picked up from their home or their place of business and taken to where they need to go to in a much speedier fashion. They're not on the bus as long. And like I said, a lot of that has to do with, us being staffed. We had a real staffing shortage at the beginning of the summer and into this end of the last year. And we've overcome that, thank God. And it's definitely made things a little bit easier for us out there. And as you can see on our on-time performance on that slide down below, where we've come from since August. August, we're at 78%. September was, our worst last year at 77%. But now we are, like I said, fully staffed. And as you can see, the increase in our on-time performance, our goal is 90% on-time performance on a monthly basis. We almost achieved that last month. We're just, 1% off, but we're right there. We're nipping, knocking at the door. So that is going to happen soon. So hopefully in February, we'll hit that. Right now, this month in January, slide doesn't reflect it, but in December, we hit 89.03. And then in January, right now, we're at 88.15. So we're almost there. Just a few more things. Just a lot of us, making sure that we're properly scheduling our drivers in the proper spots during our busiest times, and we'll be achieving that goal rather soon. So very pleased with that performance right there with our drivers. And just to give you an idea where we're at with drivers right now, we have 67 full-time active drivers on board, with 3 additional drivers right now doing their behind the wheel training. So they'll be in their as we call it, the cadetting phase here in the next week or 2, and they'll be out on the road by the mid to end of February. And then we also have 10 drivers in our qualification stages. We're just doing the background checks and the physicals and all that before we can get them into class. So my goal is to have at least 75 to 80 new drivers within the next few months that will help us better service the community and improve a lot on these performances that we're showing here. And that is all I have for today. Questions? Yeah.
I noticed the month of October on all the categories are big. Do you know why?
They're all, I'm sorry.
Numbers are huge.
Let's,
October on all of them. October.
Well, I don't know specifically. I can only, take an educated guess. And I would just say, October is one of those months, the weather's nice around here. People are getting out and about and wanting to do things. And, that's the only thing I can attribute that to, because we're not really fully into the rainy season toward the end of summer, and it's not foggy like it is in the summertime around here. So,
Thank you.
Just wanted to say congratulations on the staffing success. and
Oh, thank you very much.
The on-time performance. I know
Yeah.
that's something you've been working on for a long time.
Yeah, for a very long time. I'm very pleased about it, and yes, it makes life a little bit easier over
Yeah.
there. So, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Have a comments and a question. So I know that transportation is a huge need in countywide, and just to validate that, our AAA had or conducted focus groups in North County and South County rural area with seniors. And the top needs, of course, was housing, food, and then transportation. In South County, some of the concerns around transportation, and I'm thinking it might be more of an education thing, is that they felt like they needed more assistance with transportation to medical appointments. And then some mentioned specifically like to Stanford. And then also we had some middle class seniors who didn't qualify for free services, but they said they couldn't get transportation because they didn't meet the criteria to Stanford, and so yet they didn't have the resources sufficient enough to do regular trips there. And so I'm wondering, is there a financial criteria to qualify for the MST RISE and what that is? And then do you do outreach and education in South County and North County so the community and seniors know, both in Spanish and English, what is available? Because you really do have a lot of great programs. And then with the increase in staff and the routes, it seems like, you could probably meet the need, but it's just people not knowing where and how to access, or at least there were enough of them saying the same thing or concerns about the need for medical appointment, transportation, and access. So I'm just wondering, so those are a lot of questions.
Yeah, that's a good question. That might be something that Chrissy might be able to answer. I don't do the interviewing or the application portion of of our clients. That goes through Chrissy's staff, and they do all of that interviewing and making sure that passengers are eligible for the program. So I'll let Chrissy answer that.
I'll answer. So yes, the answer would be yes. We do have outreach activities out in South County. And the second question is, no, it's not based on income. In order to qualify for the MST Rights program, the MST Rights program is a paratransit complementary service to our regular bus system for any persons who is with functional limitation as a result of the disability, prevented from using the accessible features of our buses. So it's based on the applicant's abilities, whether they are able to use the regular bus system or not in order to qualify for the service.
Would they need a doctor certification for that, or how do you assess that?
Yeah, so it's a process where the applicant would need to complete an application form. That is a 2-page form. First page is contact information form, so that's the applicant's information. The second page is the licensed professional who can attest to the person's limitation. And then that is submitted to our MST eligibility department, to which then we would be able to contact the applicant to schedule for the interview. And the interview has changed since this program has been implemented. So most recently, the changes is that with the research, meaning individuals who has been certified in the program, but their certification recently expired, they would be able to recertify, so their interview will be conducted by phone. For anyone who is new applying for the program, they are able, the interview is conducted at our Mobility Services Center, which is located in Salinas. And for those folks that don't have any means of transportation to and from the interview, they are able to utilize our MST ride services to and from, and it's a free ride.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for that.
You're more than welcome.
I'll research more behind the scenes.
No worries, we can
Can I add to that?
meet offline to
If I
discuss
could
further.
just make one more comment. So most of the participants in that focus group in South County, there were 36. It was held in Spanish. They were from Greenfield and King City predominantly. And there was somebody from MST there. And so when they were asking, at least in my groups, questions about transportation, I did connect, I forget her name, but I connected her to the seniors that were asking because they didn't know. So so maybe more outreach, because I know SOCOs are really a good information source, but since there are no senior centers, designated senior centers in South County, I think it makes it hard for them to congregate and get all that information in one place. But anyway, so I just wanted to ask and get more information, but I did see somebody from outreach, but clearly there's still, not everyone's getting the message. So
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
So can I add to this?
Mhm.
So my job is to go to every senior site, whether it's apartment complex, recreation complex, the SOCOs, the churches. And there's always one or two seniors that I assist in applying for the rights program. And especially because if they're elder, you know, as we get older, arthritis kicks in and et cetera, so it's very important for them to get healed. We guide them what they need to do, the steps, like Christy said, they have to go to their doctor so they can fill that part. And then we even do an envelope with the address and a stamp, so that way when they're done and they get their permission, we send it to MST and we guide them also that they're gonna be interviewed and all that. So we do all that, and we're doing it for the last.
That's the Alliance on Aging,
It's
right?
like our learning, because as you know, we got funded
Right.
from TAMSI, but before that, we used to do that as well, because we used to get vouchers and stuff like that. So we've always been a part of transportation. That's what I'm always saying, one of these days I'm gonna be a little bus driver, because I love the program. There is a lack still, there's a lot of seniors that do not go to the SOCOs, that are not part of the, residents where we go and visit and stuff like that, because I go to 28 sites a month. And so there's always, like I said, one or two seniors that we register and stuff, and there is a big. One of the ones that is challenging is the rural areas, because a lot of times RISE does not go to some of the rural areas due to whatever that the circumstances. But we try. And one of the biggest ones that I'm so proud of MST and all the agencies that are part of it is, there was a gentleman during COVID when they needed to get vaccinated. They were supposed to do it at the Me Hospital and they couldn't, or he couldn't, because they canceled it. So where else can I go? So we Alliance on Aging had collaborated with the VNA, so that we're the Residents Nurses Association, to do the immunizations for COVID at different churches. So this gentleman calls, he's from Greenfield, lives way over there in nothing. And so I even asked my executive director at the time, I said, can I please put a plastic bag and a mask and gloves, and I go pick them up and bring them in? That's how important it was for us to make sure that they got vaccinated. Well, that day I had Claudia, I had Johanna, I had ourselves, and I had all of us in one trying to get this gentleman. We did it. And especially because the interview was over the phone. So that day, I was waiting, he comes down, I start crying because I'm a crybaby. He comes and he was very grateful for all the help that all of us did in order for them to do that. Yes, we still need to outreach, we still need to do a lot for seniors and stuff. One of my things is, in South County, where there used to be some bus stops are no longer there, and that's been my concern. And Ruben had said, and the gentleman has said that it's gonna come back. I wanted to come back now, not next year or later, because there is a need. So for example, across the street from Taylor Farms, there's a clinic, but that bus is no longer there. The other one, they have to go all the way from Gonzalez's pharmacy to come this way and then go back, and in fact, that defeats the purpose. So there's different areas in South County that I would like for it to come back, because there is that need. But the plus part is, I was able to get them registered for rides. They love traveling on the bus because they don't have other transportation. So at least get them on the rides, and there's no longer transportation for the, and you know, South County doesn't have taxes, because that would be like a whole new fundraiser thing and stuff. But there is, so we're trying between Lions on Aging and all the programs that we have, we are trying to make sure that all our seniors are taken care of, but yes, we do still need more. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew that part.
Thank you. For North County, same thing, and reminded me of the issue that not enough bus stops or accessible bus stops from their home to get to the bus stop. So that was also a need expressed, just in general for MSD, not just this particular program. And then the Stanford question, so for eligibility, like if somebody, regardless if they're senior or not, they have a disability, they go through the process. Do you also do rides to Stanford, or is there another program for that? And then.
So, we currently do not, well, the rides program only extends 3/4 of a mile from any of our regular bus stop services. So services out to the rides does not provide services out to Stanford. But we do have what's called a special medical trips, that is available, on the, maybe.
Yeah, it's
he can
the, yeah,
elaborate
it's
more on the
the,
service on
it's
that one.
the, I gotta remember how it. It's the second Tuesday and Thursday of the month. We go to Stanford, 1 week, the Tuesday and Thursday, and we'll go to, San Francisco, the other Tuesday and Thursday. I don't know the exact. If it's Stanford, the beginning of the month or the end, but we do go to Stanford twice a month, and we go to San Francisco twice as well, on a Tuesday and a Thursday, but there's special medical trips that we do.
And it's still $20, right?
Yes, yes,
It's still $20.
Yes.
A care provider would be able to ride for free.
Yep.
But it does require reservation, so there's no qualification for it, just a reservation through
Mhm.
MV reservation line.
So no income eligibility.
No.
It's open to the public.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
And just so you know, the reason we conducted these focus groups is so that we're also doing surveys, so that we can know as the AAA where to invest monies, what is the community saying the needs are and gaps, so that as we prepare for the next round of funding, we have an idea where to invest that money in.
Yeah.
So just so you know, that's why we did that.
yeah, with those special medical trips, we pick them up from the Salinas Transit Center. So they could either find a way there, or we could pick them up from their home, take them to the transit center, and then we'll have that driver from there take them to Stanford or San Francisco, wherever they need to go. There.
So thank you. for
Yeah,
that.
of course.
All right, thank you, David.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right, MST mobility updates, Christie.
Can we check whether there was any members of the public on Zoom? Any questions for David?
Anybody on Zoom, any questions? Thank you for reminding me. of that.
Yeah. The transition, huh? Okay, I don't have a PowerPoint slide, but I wanted to share an update on year-end informations on mobility programs. So just to briefly go over each of the programs and how we're doing, so how we've done in 2023. So in the Navigator Volunteer Program, we ended the year with 6 volunteers, a total of 406 volunteer hours. For the MST Rides program, we had a total of 636 enrollments, of which 75% were ambulatory passengers or participants, and then 25% were wheelchair dependent. Most of our enrollment participants age ranges between 17 to 61. Were about 37%, and then 71 to 90 was about 35%. In the travel training program, we ended the year with 488 travel training activities. So these are activities, combination of individual travel training, where we teach individuals how to independently ride the bus system, including learning how to use the routes, if they're mobility dependent, how to get on and off the bus. So that's part of the individual travel training. The group trainings that is conducted, occasionally we do what's called group trips. I think there was a question a while back about taking seniors out to a field trip. Yes, that is part of our travel training program, to which we organize in collaboration with senior centers or groups who wants to learn how to ride our bus to a particular destination. And part of that destination can include the aquarium as well. For the taxi voucher program, we ended the year with 48,968 trips in total. That's a combination with all three of the programs, which is the senior vouchers, persons with disability vouchers, and veterans. To break that down, for our seniors, we had a total of 31,003 trips. For persons with disability, we had about 16,895. And then for our veterans voucher, 1,070. And with the numbers, it correlates with the total enrollments in the program as well, because our highest enrollment is seniors, and then second, persons with disabilities, and third is veterans. In the transportation reimbursement incentive program trips, we had a total of 7,959 reimbursed trips. Right now, we have a total of 99 folks who are enrolled in the program. Last, I had mentioned our last meeting that the mobility department was in the process of recruiting for the position for a mobility specialist. We actually completed our interview last week, so now we're in the process of job offer, and hopefully in our next meeting, I'll be able to introduce our newest team member. But that's about my update. I can go ahead and answer any questions if you have.
I'm just really impressed with the high number of rides that you offer to some of our most vulnerable community members. I really do think that's outstanding, so thank you for those numbers.
Yeah, and I'll be happy to do a formal presentations of the programs and services that MST offers. That is funded through the Measure Q. So that includes our Navigator program, MST Rides program, travel training, taxi voucher, the transportation reimbursement incentive program.
That's something we could add to the next agenda.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, any other questions? Anybody on Zoom? All right, saying none. Thank you, Christy.
Thank you.
All right, any additional items for next agenda?
I had one, maybe probably doesn't have to be part, maybe for the next agenda, or not sure if it'll be too early still for MSC staff, because since the Better Bus Network was still pretty new for some, but I guess going to like Rena's point about the services in South County, like the on-call that was removed, and now with the plan to have a fixed route service, it'd be interesting to see like if any updates regarding those fixed services, because I know like King City's been running for a while, and then there was plans to do also the fixed service in Soledad, and I think Greenfield too. Not sure about Gonzales. Okay, Gonzales. So yeah, be interesting to see any new information from that.
Get an update on the fixed service routes.
Yeah.
Who would that be?
I can.
Yeah, I can reach out to the planning department to have someone do an update presentation for you, see if it's available.
Could we tag on North County for that, since they're both rural areas and kind of have the same concern?
Is there specific information you'd like to?
Well, the
North County?
routes, general MST, and then routes, because again, like in both in the Prunedale, North County area and Castroville, there were concerns about just, as much as you do, there's still always a need, right? So just to get information on what are the routes and plans to expand the routes and in areas in North County.
Other additions? The announcements and appreciations.
Quick announcement. So you'd mentioned taxi service in South County. So I just wanted to let everyone know that we're in the process of, we're trying to expand taxi service into South County. Specifically with Yellow Cab. They're currently sort of most able to do to expand services because they've got a lot of drivers. So we've reached out to the four, main South County cities. We've gotten positive responses from Gonzales, Soledad, and King City. Haven't heard back from Greenfield yet, but we'll continue to reach out to them and see if they're interested in expanding. So what we'd like to do is expand Yellow Cab into these cities so that the residents can take advantage of a lot of the programs that we offer and that they're already paying for, such as the taxi voucher program. So yeah, I think probably by the next time that we have a meeting, there will be a lot more information about what's going on with that. So that could also be potentially.
We could add that one to the.
Yeah.
Did that exist for North County?
In terms of taxi service in North County, I mean, most of all of the taxi companies that are part of the RTA service North County. It's just, they are able to charge extra by going out into North County and, it can get expensive, so.
Is that the same for South County? Like they charge more because it's South County?
Well, there's just currently the RTA doesn't even cover South County. So there aren't any RTA cab companies that are servicing South County at the moment, so.
Thank you. For that.
You're welcome.
My announcement is what's happening at the Alliance on Aging, if that's okay.
Yep.
As you know, Medicare is our big one, so if you want to learn about basic Medicare and what it comes with it, you don't have to be 65 to learn that. This could be an education for your parents, your grandparents. Where are they? Because a lot of our older people don't like to share that with their children because confidentiality, but it's very important. We have had a lot of senior adult children coming to our center because they are worried about their parents not getting, especially with all these new changes with Medi-Cal and the supplements that are coming with the prescriptions. So that's available on our website. Tax season is here. Oh my Lordess. And again, and I'll send all the flyers to Christy and Ruben so they can send them to you. And we all our February and March are booked already for all the sites. And it's like, oh my goodness. And of course, it's free. And so please encourage any seniors that that would benefit from them not paying anyone for their taxes and stuff. So we do that. And then the most exciting one, as I was sharing, is SOCOS. We're going to be starting, if you don't know what SOCOS is, it's social gathering for seniors with Meals on Wheels. They got this grant 2 years ago to provide a luncheon and outreach and activities, and they even hire a singer, a musician, so they can be entertained. And of course, all of us, like Kelly and all them, Maria Magana and all that, I haven't seen you there yet. We all dance with the seniors, so that's fun. But it's a great opportunity for seniors to take advantage of this. And we are starting one in Salinas at our center. And it's going to be twice because our building is not as big. So they're going to be able to come to Alliance on Aging for that. And that's when they invite all the agencies, and MST is one that is there. And of course, us and other agencies that provide services for seniors. So those are the exciting news that I have for Alliance. And one of these days I'd like to present all our programs, but maybe in March. I mean, after Christy.
Next one.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go ahead then and adjourn the meeting at 1:50 p.m. Next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, March 15th, 2024. What was that?
March 27th.
Is it March 27th? March 27th, 2024. Reading off the agenda,
Was not the 15th?
not the 15th, no, 27th.